Hi, this is Kale the Quick here with Easter Egg Productions. This is going to be a short series about 3D models, meshes, 3D art, and the program we use to do that, Blender, here. So to start off, you can see we have our little sphere here. We're going to talk about really quickly what exactly 3D models are. So 3D models, also called meshes, are just kind of collections of these little points here. And you'll see there's these individual points, these vertices, and then they also form together to form these edges here, and then they form together to form triangles, and thus these faces here that you can see. Now, so three of these vertices form together to make a triangle. Every single 3D model is eventually broken down to a point where it is just triangles, because that's how all the math works behind the scenes. And the way that is in the file here is that there's just a bunch of data. And you'll see here, each one of these, this represents one of those vertices, V vertice, and then it just has its 3D spatial coordinates. So the X, Y, and Z axis about where it is in space. You see this one here is 0, -1, and then 0. And they all go around, and then the file format, which is human readable as you say, can actually come in here and then change these numbers and then reload it into the Blender, and it'll recognize what I've done and then give me a weird looking model because you just change numbers. And then numbers here for the normals, which are the directions that the faces point, which is useful for the math. That's how it figures out, where it is in relation to the camera, and therefore how dark or how bright to make it. And then there's also the faces here. There's information there on how the computer can figure out where the faces are all pointing and what they're doing. So yeah, that's generally what meshes are made out of. Vertices form edges, and then they all work together to form faces, and they all connect together to form the entire object. Now, one thing you'll notice here is that the faces are kind of hard-edged. They look like a faceted gem or something, something that's been cut perfectly flat, and so when the light bounces off of them, you can see, kind of get that twinkling effect. Well, not really twinkling, but I don't know a better word to describe it. Now, the way that this is changed, because everything in a computer for 3D graphics has to be one of these flat faces. And you can add more, but there's diminishing returns, and eventually it'll stop looking good. So there's ways to get around it to make it look like it's smooth without actually making it smooth. Now you notice here there's a point and then edges here where it goes off. You can see. Now I can turn on this thing here called smooth shading, which makes it look smooth. This is kind of how, computer games and stuff looked back in the 90s. You can see there's little artifacts here. So it's not perfect, but it does look a lot better, and it does kind of smooth it out there. You'll notice that the sphere actually still has all the same number of triangles on it. Nothing has changed. You can actually see up here the count of vertices, edges, and faces. So change between smooth and flat. Nothing up there changes. You also notice on the edge here, there's still points. So definitely not perfect, but it does help construct the illusion that this is supposed to be something that's smooth and, spherical, as opposed to, kind of faceted like this. So that's just kind of a brief overview about some information about 3D graphics and that type of thing. Obviously, there's a lot more that you can go into. There's tons of resources out there if you're interested in finding them. But till next video, I'm Kale the Quick. Thanks for watching. Don't die.